Welcome back to Truevenge Chronicles, and hello to everyone new here. We share revenge stories where quiet people win with proof and courage. Today's story is, My Boss Told Me to Clear My Desk, the Badge Still Worked. A proud manager tries to erase me, but one small mistake leaves a door open. A simple badge and a clean paper trail flip the power game. If you love workplace justice and clear victory, you are in the right place. Stay to the end for the twist that shocks everyone cold. Sit back and enjoy the story of the day.
My boss told me to clear my desk at 9:12 a.m. like he was reading the weather. "Pack up, Noah. Today is your last day," he said. His name was Henrik Schwarka, the operations director at Fjordmark Wind Systems in Aarhus. 48, sharp suit, sharp tongue, and a smile that never reached his eyes. Two security guards stood behind him. I stared at Henrik and waited for a joke. There was none. He pointed at my cubicle, then at the door. "Do it now. We're done." "Is this coming from HR?" I asked. Henrik laughed. "HR will follow. You're not needed. Clear your desk." Keyboard stopped. A printer hummed, then went quiet. I felt eyes on my back. I also felt something colder than fear. Henrik was not firing me because my work was bad. He was firing me because my work was too good. My job title sounded boring: Access and Safety Systems Specialist. In real life, it meant I ran the badge system, door logs, visitor lists, and safety lockouts in restricted areas. When someone swiped a badge, my system remembered it. When a door opened after hours, my system remembered it. When someone tried to forget a rule, my system remembered that too. That is why Henrik hated me. 2 weeks earlier, I filed a safety concern about a contractor named Bruno Salas, a welder hired through a temp agency. He was being told to work inside the high-voltage test bay without the right training. One mistake in there could kill someone. I wrote the report to HR, clear and simple. I attached photos, timestamps, and the training roster. I did not accuse anyone. I just asked for a stop until training was done. HR said they would review. Henrik called me into his office that afternoon. He did not yell. Henrik never yelled. He used soft words like knives. "You like making trouble," he said. "You think you're a hero. I like keeping people alive," I answered. Henrik's smile stayed. "You're paid to maintain systems, not to question leadership." That was when I knew I was on his list. Now he wanted to humiliate me fast. He wanted me to rush out like a thief. I did the opposite. I nodded once. "Okay," I said. Henrik blinked, like he expected begging. "Good. Make it quick." I packed a few things into a plain box. My laptop, my notebook, and a small photo of my sister Ida. I kept that notebook for door alarms and badge errors. But lately, I used it for something else too. Patterns. A woman stepped closer. Sophie Damgaard, our IT security lead, whispered, "This is wrong." "I know," I whispered back. "Save your messages." Henrik snapped at the guards. "Escort him." We reached the lobby. My badge hung on a blue lanyard. The guard held out his hand. "Company policy. Badge." Henrik crossed his arms. "Now." I unhooked the lanyard and handed it over. Then I reached into my pocket and felt the edge of my backup badge, the one I used for system tests on new doors. Same photo, same name, still tied to my access group. Henrik did not notice. He was too busy enjoying himself. Outside, the January air cut my cheeks. I did not go home. I went to a cafe across the street and sat where I could see the lobby doors. At 9:27, I opened my notebook and wrote, "Fired by Henrik. No HR present. Security escort. Badge surrendered. Backup badge. Still in pocket." That last line made my stomach settle. If I was truly fired, my access should die within minutes. That was the rule. But Henrik was sloppy when he got excited. A thought formed, slow and sharp. If my badge still worked, the system still saw me as authorized. And if I was still authorized, I could still request the logs that proved what Henrik had been hiding. I stood, lifted my box, and walked back toward the building with a steady heart and a clear plan. The side entrance had a reader I installed. I held my backup badge to it. The light flashed green. The lock clicked. For a second, I just stood there, shocked by how quiet that click sounded. My boss had told me I was gone, but the system disagreed. I moved fast, not sneaky, just focused. I walked straight to the access control room on the second floor, the one with gray cabinets and a wall of monitors. My name was still on the sign-in sheet from last week. I opened the console and pulled the last 30 days of entry logs for the high-voltage test bay. One line made my throat go dry. Henrik's badge. Sunday night, 2:03 a.m. Door override used. Then another line, even worse. A badge number issued to Bruno, logged as trained, even though I had the roster that proved he was not. I printed the report and slid it into my box under my notebook. Then I wrote one more note. Badge active. Logs show overrides. Evidence in hand. My phone buzzed. Sophie, HR is asking where you went. Henrik is telling people you stole access files. Be careful. I looked up at the monitors. One camera showed the hallway outside my room. A shadow moved past the door, then stopped. Someone was coming in. Quick pause, friends. Are you enjoying this story so far? Be honest. What is your opinion about Noah's boss and the way he was treated? If you were in my shoes right now, would you stay quiet, argue in the hallway, or start collecting proof like I did? I want to know what you would do at this exact moment, because this next step can change everything. Also, what do you think about Truevenge Chronicles so far? Does this kind of workplace revenge story hit close to home for you? Drop a comment telling me where you are watching from, and share your advice for me. And if you want more stories with smart payback, clear justice, and real-life lessons, tap subscribe and join the family. Your support helps this channel grow, and it tells YouTube to show these stories to more people today. All right, back to it. The door opened, and a man stepped in, tall and broad in a security jacket with calm eyes. Rami Nurgard, head of site security. 52, former police, and the only person in the building who never let titles scare him. He glanced at my box, then at the console screen. Noah? My badge is still active, I replied. Henrik told me I was fired. No HR. I came back to pull the logs, because I think he is hiding a safety and access problem. Rami checked the console, then the reader status. You are active, he said. Termination was not processed. We do this clean. You come with me to HR, and you tell them the truth. I nodded. HR sat on the third floor behind frosted glass. Tina Raven, the HR generalist, looked up and froze. Noah, you can't be here. Rami cut in. He can. His badge is active. Bring your director. A minute later, Mette Alberg stepped out. HR director, short hair, no nonsense. What is happening? I set my box down. Henrik told me to clear my desk. No HR present. Security escorted me out. My backup badge still worked. So I returned to pull my own access logs. I believe there are violations being covered up. Mette's face tightened. Do you have documentation? Yes. I placed the printed report on her desk. These are entry logs for the high-voltage test bay. Henrik's badge used a door override on Sunday night at 2:03 a.m. This badge number was assigned to Bruno Salas and marked trained when he was not. Mette scanned the pages. Did you receive written termination notice? No, I said. Only Henrik's words. No? Mette stared at Tina. Where is the termination packet? Tina's cheeks reddened. Henrik said he would send it. Footsteps hit the hall. Henrik stormed in without knocking, dressed like this was planned. There he is, he said, pointing at me. He came back to steal files. Rami stepped in front of him. Stop. You will speak to HR. Henrik's eyes narrowed. He's a liability. He creates drama. I filed a safety report, I said. That's not drama. Mette lifted the log report. Explain this. Henrik snapped. Those logs can be edited. He has access. That's why Rami can pull the same logs from the secure archive, I said. We can compare. Rami nodded. We will. Meta raised a hand. Enough. Henrik. Leave. Tina. Schedule a formal review with compliance and internal audit. Rami. Secure the access logs for 90 days and lock the override function until further notice. Henrik's mouth fell open. You can't. Meta looked him dead in the eye. Watch me. Henrik backed out, burning holes in me with his stare. This isn't over, he said. When he was gone, Meta said, Noah, you are on paid administrative leave while we investigate. Do not enter the site again unless invited in writing. Yes, I said. At home, my wife Elin listened as I explained. Then she took my hand. You did the right thing, she said. Now we stay smart. That evening, I called Mikkel Jensen, our union rep. Henrik is telling people you hacked the building, he warned. I didn't hack, I said. My badge was active. I pulled logs and handed them to HR. Good, Mikkel said. Tomorrow we file a grievance and demand everything in writing. And do not answer, Henrik. My phone buzzed right after. A text from an unknown number. Sign the release tonight or I bury you. I showed Ellen. She shook her head. No reply. 9 reply. 9 reply. Instead, I built a timeline on my laptop. Dates, times, names, and screenshots of my safety report. Then a new calendar invite hit my inbox from Tina. Special review, access and safety compliance, mandatory attendance, Monday, 8:30 a.m. Conference Room D. On Friday, Meta emailed me and copied Layla Haddad, Company Compliance Counsel. Layla wrote one line, preserve all records, do not delete anything. We will speak Monday. Saturday morning, Mikkel met me at a small bakery near the river. He brought a thick folder and 2 pens. We treat this like a court case, he said. Short facts, no feelings. And we wrote my statement in plain language. We listed the safety report. We listed the public escort. We listed the fact that HR was missing. Then we listed the logs I printed and the exact time my badge still opened the door. Mikkel looked at me over his glasses. People lie, he said. Systems lie less. That afternoon, I did one thing Henrik did not expect. I called Rami and asked to meet him outside the site at the security annex near the parking lot. Elin came with me, not as a fighter, but as a witness. Rami walked out with a small envelope and a clipboard. You still have the backup badge, he said. Yes, I answered, and I held it out. I want a receipt that I returned it. Rami took it and wrote fast. He handed me a copy. Returned by Noah Kessler, 1418. Witnessed. He looked at me and lowered his voice. Henrik asked me to deactivate you on the spot, he said, but I can't override HR locks. That request is logged too. My stomach tightened. So, his own request is in the system? Rami nodded. Everything is. On the way home, Sophie sent me a screenshot of an internal ticket. Request. Disable Noah's access and mark incident as data theft. Requested by Henrik Schwarka. Status. Rejected. Missing HR approval. Timestamp. 9:19 a.m. 7 minutes after he told me to clear my desk. Ellen read it and whispered, he planned to frame you. I did not answer right away, because if I spoke, my voice might shake. I just saved the image and wrote the time down. Sunday brought a new kind of silence. No calls, no texts. That scared me more than noise. I spent the morning making copies. One folder for HR. One folder for the union. One folder for our own records at home. I labeled every page with a date. I printed the messages from Henrik. I printed Sophie's screenshot. I even printed a photo of the reader light flashing green, because I had snapped it without thinking, while my hand still worked. In the afternoon, my email pinged with a message from Layla Haddad. Mr. Kessler, do not discuss this matter with coworkers. Do not attempt to access company systems. Be available for questions Monday. I replied with 2 sentences. Understood. All records are preserved. A minute later, another email arrived, this time from Tina. She attached a vague note that said my leave was pending review and that my return date was unknown. It felt like a threat, hidden in polite words. Mikhail told me not to worry. They write that to keep you scared, he said. You stay steady. That night, Ellen and I ate dinner without the TV on. I could tell she was trying not to show fear. What if they ruin your name? She asked quietly. I looked at her and told the truth. They can try, but they can't erase logs. I slept a little, then woke before dawn. My mind replayed Henrik's face, his confidence, the way he said, "Clear your desk," like my life was trash. I did not hate him. Hate is loud. What I felt was simpler. I wanted the truth to be seen, and I wanted the right people to see it. Just after 6 a.m., my phone buzzed with one last message, this time from Jaro again. He wrote, "Henrik is nervous. He is pulling old emails and telling managers you are unstable. Watch your words." I thanked him and saved it. I opened my folder and added a final page on top, a simple cover sheet, timeline, evidence list, and requested actions. Under actions, I wrote 3 lines. Reinstate my role. Investigate override abuse. Protect contractor safety. I read it twice, then zipped my bag, starting today. The tram arrived. I stepped on, held my folder, and watched the city wake up. In less than 2 hours, I would be in conference room D, facing Henrik again. And this time, I was not there to beg. I was there to let the badge, and the logs behind it, tell the truth. Part 2. Conference room D had a long table and a cold gray light from the window. I arrived early and sat closest to the door. Under the table, my hands stayed still, but my stomach rolled. I kept repeating one fact. If the badge still worked, Henrik's story could not hold up. Henrik walked in at 8:28 with Tina. He looked rested. Tina looked strained. Henrik carried a thin folder like it could hurt people. At 8:30, Meta entered with Layla Haddad, our compliance counsel. Layla wore a dark suit and a steady face. Behind her came Svenja Craig from internal audit with a laptop already open. Rami closed the door and stood near the wall. Layla spoke first. "This is a compliance review. One voice at a time. Facts only. No threats, no insults. Understood?" Henrik nodded. "Of course." Layla looked at me. "Mr. Kessler, your union rep is here?" "Yes," I said. Mikhail slipped in and sat beside me with our grievance folder. Layla turned to the termination. "HR," she said. Mete opened her binder. "No termination packet exists," she said. "Henrik ordered an escort before HR review. That violates policy." Henrik scoffed. "Policy bends in a crisis. Noah is a risk. He went back into restricted systems after I told him to leave." Layla did not blink. "We will address access next," she said. "Mr. Kessler, did you re-enter the building?" "Yes," I said. My backup badge still worked, so I used it and went to the access control room. I weef. We forthos. Immoral. We forthos. I menite. We forthos. And cumde. Unwanavai. Use. We forthos. I menite. Menite. Henrik leaned forward. "He admits it," he said. Layla raised one finger. "Rami, was his access still active at that time?" "Yes," Rami said. "Active until 11:04 a.m. when HR placed him on leave." Mikhail added, "So he was still an employee in the system?" Layla nodded. "Correct. Mr. Kessler, do you still have any company badges?" "No," I said. "I returned the backup badge to Rami on Saturday. My wife witnessed it." Rami slid the receipt onto the table. Henrik's eyes jumped to it, then away. Layla nodded to Svenja. Access logs. Svenja turned her laptop. We exported logs from the secure archive, she said. Mr. Kessler's printed report matches our export. Henrik snapped. Logs can be edited. He had access. Layla answered. That is why we use the secure archive. Now we ask, why the logs show what they show. Svenja scrolled. There it was. Sunday, 2:03 a.m. Henrik's badge. Door override used. Layla pointed. Mr. Schvarka, why were you in the high-voltage test bay at 2:03 a.m. on Sunday? Henrik spread his hands. I wasn't. Glitch. Bad readers, asked Noah. I kept my voice flat. Readers record what is scanned, I said. They don't invent badge IDs. End quote, Layla said. Answer the question. Henrik's jaw worked. Fine. I checked equipment. Production is behind. Svenja clicked again. A contractor badge was created Friday morning, marked, trained, and used in that bay. The badge number matches Bruno Salas. Meta's face hardened. Bruno is not cleared for that bay. Henrik shrugged. He needed access. Layla turned to Tina. Who marked him trained? Tina swallowed. I didn't, Layla said, so someone did. Henrik pushed back in his chair. This is a witch hunt over one safety note. Rami spoke from the wall. Safety is never small. Layla looked at me. Mr. Kessler, do you have evidence of retaliation? Yes, I said. Sophie Damgard sent me a screenshot of an IT ticket created by Henrik at 9:19 a.m. Request, disable my access and label it data theft. 7 minutes after, he told me to clear my desk. Svenja nodded. We have that ticket. It's real. Henrik snapped. It was a draft. Precaution. He overreacts. Layla leaned forward. Are you claiming Mr. Kessler is mentally unfit? Henrik hesitated. I'm saying he causes problems. Meta said he reported a training gap. That is his job. Layla asked me to describe the escort, start to finish. I told her how Henrik stood in the open office, how 2 guards waited, and how he ordered me to pack like I was being punished. I told her I asked for HR and got a laugh back. I told her I handed over my main badge, but my backup badge was still in my pocket because it was part of my testing kit. Henrik tried to cut in. He's making a scene, he said. Layla shot him a look. You will not talk over him, she said. Mikkel slid our grievance paper across the table.
We want the escort noted as retaliation, he said. And we want a clear record that Henrik acted without authority.
Henrik drummed his fingers. I was protecting the company, he muttered. Rami spoke. If you wanted protection, you would have called me in HR, he said, not turned it into a show. Layla turned to Svenja. Show the pattern, she said. Svenja pulled up door overrides. Over the last 60 days, overrides in the test bay happened 19 times, she said. 17 were done with Henrik's badge. Most were after midnight. Henrik's face went tight. That's because I work hard, he said. Layla replied, working hard does not mean breaking safety rules. Svenja clicked again. A hiring request was opened the day after Noah filed his safety report, she said. The role is Noah's job, and it lists a preferred candidate, Simon Svarka. Henrik's head snapped up. He's my cousin. Meta's voice was sharp. So you tried to remove Noah and replace him with family? Henrik pushed back his chair, then forced it still. His confidence was leaking, 1 drop at a time. Layla folded her hands. Now we watch Sunday night, she said. Svenja opened a video file. We matched camera timestamps to door logs, she said. Henrik's eyes flicked to the door. Layla said one calm line that made the air feel heavy. Do not leave. If you leave, we record refusal. Svenja hit play. The screen went black for a second. Then the hallway camera appeared. Another quick pause before the storm. Are you still with me? And are you enjoying how this is unfolding? Right now, I'm walking into that review meeting, and the stakes are huge. If you were me, would you bring a lawyer? Bring a union rep? Or walk in alone and trust the facts? Tell me what your next move would be, because one wrong step can let a bully win. Also, how has Truevenge Chronicles been treating you lately? Do these real feeling stories help you think differently about work, respect, and boundaries? Type your thoughts in the comments and write the country and city you are watching from. If you want more fresh revenge stories with strong hooks, suspense, and clear justice, hit subscribe and stay close. Likes and shares also help new viewers find this channel, so thank you for supporting the work. Okay, let's go back inside. On the video, the hallway was empty at first. Then, at 1:58 a.m., Henrik appeared, coat over his suit, walking fast like he did not want to be seen. He stopped at the test bay door, scanned his badge, and went in. 2 minutes later, Bruno showed up, tired and confused, holding a hard hat. Henrik met him at the door, spoke close to his ear, and waved him inside. Svenja paused the video. This matches the door log. She said, 2:03 a.m. Override. Used. Henrik tried to sound casual. We were behind. I needed help. Layla's voice stayed cold. You brought an untrained contractor into a high-voltage bay at night, she said. That is not acceptable. Svenja played the next clip. Inside the bay, Henrik stood at the control panel and pointed. Bruno hesitated. Then Bruno reached for a switch, an alarm light flashed, and Henrik hit a bypass button. Rami spoke tight. That bypass is for emergencies only. I said, that bypass disables an interlock that prevents shock. End quote. Henrik snapped. You're twisting it. Layla turned to Tina. Bring Bruno in, she said. Bruno entered with shaking hands. Layla pulled out a chair. Bruno, you are not in trouble for telling the truth, she said. Did you work in that bay Sunday night? Yes, Bruno whispered. Henrik told me it was quick. Did you have training? Layla asked. No, Bruno said. I asked. He said, just do it. I'll watch. Svenja asked, did anyone mark you trained? Bruno stared down. Henrik took my badge, he said. He said he would fix it. Henrik barked. He's lying. Bruno flinched, then added, he also gave me cash. 200 euros. Meta's face went pale. Layla did not look away from Henrik. Cash payments to contractors are forbidden, she said. Henrik slammed his hand on the table. This is a setup, he yelled, pointing at me. He wants my job. Layla said one short line. Sit. Henrik sat, breathing hard. Layla nodded to Svenja. Finance, she said. Svenja opened a spreadsheet on her laptop. We reviewed invoices tied to these late-night runs, she said. There are payments to a vendor called North Sea Calibration. The invoices were approved by Henrik. The bank account on those invoices links back to Henrik. Henrik's mouth opened. No words came. Layla looked at Mete. So, we have safety bypass, falsified training status, cash payments, and a money trail, she said, plus retaliation and an improper termination attempt. Mete added, and the hiring request for Simon Schwarka, his cousin, right after Noah filed the safety report. Henrik's voice cracked. Production was failing. If the board found out, I was finished. Layla stared at him. So you risked someone's life and stole, she said. Henrik looked at me, desperate. He forced this, he said. I reported a safety gap, I replied. That's all. Layla turned to Rami. Deactivate Henrik's access now, she said. Collect his badge and escort him to clear his office. Henrik shot up. You can't. Rami stepped forward. I can. Hand it over. Henrik's hand shook as he pulled out his badge and dropped it on the table. The plastic slap sounded loud in the quiet room. Layla said, You told Noah to clear his desk. Now, you will clear yours. No one defended him. Tina stared at her hands. Rami opened the door. "Let's go," he said. Henrik walked out stiff and silent, escorted like I had been, but without the pride. The door shut behind him. Meta turned to me. "Noah, I am sorry," she said. "We failed you." Layla added, "Your leave is lifted. You will be reinstated with full pay for the days missed. If you want, we will support a formal labor complaint." Mikkel nodded once, satisfied. Layla turned to Bruno. "You will be trained before you enter restricted areas again," she said. "No punishment for telling the truth. If anyone pressures you, you report it." Bruno's eyes filled. "Thank you," he whispered. When the meeting ended, I stepped into the hallway and felt people watching. Rumors were still there, but the facts were stronger now. Outside, I texted Ellen, "It's done. He's out." She replied, "I'm proud of you." 2 days later, I returned with a signed reinstatement letter and a new role title, Access Compliance Lead. It came with a raise and direct reporting to security and compliance, not Henrik's chain. Sophie met me in the lobby. "I saved everything," she said, smiling. Rami handed me a new badge. "Ready?" he asked. I scanned it at the reader. The light flashed green, clean and bright. My desk was still there, untouched. The only desk that got cleared was Henrik's. Revenge was clear. He tried to erase me, but he erased himself instead. That afternoon, an email went out to the whole site from Meta and Layla. It did not use names, but everyone understood. It said an investigation found serious breaches of safety and ethics, and that leadership changes were happening. It also said any worker could report concerns without fear, and that retaliation would bring discipline. Reading those lines felt like a weight sliding off my chest. The next week, Layla asked me to help fix the hole Henrik had used. I updated the rule that any termination request must trigger automatic badge deactivation within 5 minutes, but only after HR approval. I also added a lock that prevented a single manager from marking a contractor trained. It now required 2 approvals, one from safety and one from HR. Bruno came to my office after his training session. He held his new certificate like it was gold. "Thank you for speaking," he said. "I thought I would be sent away." I shook my head. "You did what you could," I told him. "Next time, you say no and you call me." On Friday, I saw Henrik for the last time. Rami was walking him through the lobby with a cardboard box. Henrik's face was gray. He looked at me like he wanted to curse me, but his mouth stayed shut. He walked to the exit and tried to scan his old badge at the reader. Like a habit, he could not stop. The light flashed red. The door stayed locked. Henrik stared at it, stunned. Then he turned and saw me watching. For a second, his eyes dropped, like he understood the whole story in one frame. He told me to clear my desk, but my badge still worked, and his did not. Rami opened the door from the inside and let him out. Cold air rushed in. Henrik stepped into it and was gone. I stood there, calm, and scanned my new badge once more. Green light, open door, clean start. Lesson 1. When power is unfair, write everything down. Save emails, dates, names, and screenshots. Speak in facts, not anger. A bully can argue with your feelings, but they cannot erase a clear timeline. Proof turns panic into control and keeps your future safe. Make backups before anyone blocks access. Lesson 2. Do not fight alone when rules and jobs are on the line. Use the right channels like HR, compliance, and your union, and bring a calm witness. Respectful steps force the company to follow policy. The moment a third party joins the room, lies get smaller fast, always. Lesson 3. Never confuse silence with agreement. If someone disrespects you, set a boundary early and in writing. Doing your job well is not a weakness. Quiet confidence is strength. When you protect safety and truth, you protect yourself too, and you earn real respect, even if loud people laugh. Now, I want your opinion. Which part hit you hardest? The public firing, the badge moment, or the meeting where the truth came out? If you were in my shoes, would you have gone back when the badge still worked, or would you have walked away to avoid trouble? Try using these lessons in your own life, at work, at home, and with friends, and tell us how it goes. Thank you for staying till the end, and I truly hope to see you again soon. Thank you for riding with Truevenge Chronicles and staying all the way to the end. What keeps you here till now? The suspense, the justice, or the life lessons? Tell me in the comments. If you want more workplace revenge stories, family payback, and smart comeback plots, go to the playlist section after this video and keep watching. This channel delivers gripping true-style stories, strong hooks, and clear victories that make you feel satisfied. If you are new, hit subscribe, like, and share so you never miss the next story. Your support helps this community grow, story by story. Today.
Before you go, hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the next upload. Then head to the playlists section and binge the best episodes. Family revenge, boss revenge, courtroom twists, and quiet comeback stories. If this story hit you, share it with a friend who needs courage. See you in the next Truevenge Chronicles. Like the video to boost it in the algorithm and help more viewers find these emotional, suspense-filled revenge tales. Your support keeps this channel growing, week after week, story after story together. Goodbye.